Hi everyone, it's Linda G. I'm here with our Auntie Mel.
Hi.
And yes, I know I got red eyeballs. And but it doesn't hurt, it doesn't itch. I took a picture of it and sent it to my doctor. Actually, I think I accidentally took a picture of my vajayjay. I'm just kidding.
You gotta
I just
watch you gotta watch Joan Crawford. No, no, I'm sorry, not Joan Crawford.
Joan
What am I
Rivers.
thinking? Joan Rivers. And she talks about that her mother said that when you get old, how your vajayjay drops. And she said, I looked at my foot and I said, I thought it was a rabbit. I go, oh my God, it's my vajayjay.
She was so funny. But anyway, so I sent it to my doctor and I'll wait to hear. But I was bawling so hard over Lulu, I probably broke a little something in
I
there.
think it's a little capillary in there that broke, and sometimes, and it looks really dramatic, but it'll
Yeah.
clear up. It'll take about four or
But
five
it
weeks.
it doesn't hurt and it doesn't itch.
No, they're not. Usually it's not painful when that happens, but
Yeah,
hey, I can I just bring up one thing real quick?
sure. No,
I,
now you're over. Go ahead.
well, number one, I just want to say that if anybody out there has any comments to make, if you have an opinion, I'm willing to hear it,
Yeah.
but please don't call us names.
No. There'll
Uh,
be people who start off so nice. Oh, I love you. I love your show. But you said this and this makes you this and that all this stuff and it's like blocked.
well, someone called me an effing a-hole because of my comment about Swalwell. And I just responded that, if he is guilty, then he should be held accountable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm always in favor of the victims. Absolutely. But the timing of this, when Roger Stone released this, it was
Oh, I
done.
know. And just like he did with our other senator that stepped down.
Right. It was done because they thought it would weaken the Democratic vote and it would put a Republican governor in California. I see a Democratic governor in California. I see people coming out voting in droves.
Just to
And,
make sure that happens. And by the way, I threw the cards, you guys, and it showed a female, so maybe it's Katie. Now, I'm not liking her based on rumors. I don't know for a fact that she treats staff terrible. And apparently, her husband came out, her ex husband came out and talked about how she name called him and she threw a big hot pan of potatoes on him. I'm like, and your issue is,
you
you know
know,
how many big pans of potatoes I threw on my ex husband?
and say now that's all you're getting to eat for a week.
Or spaghetti or whatever I had in front of me.
Actually, spaghetti works better.
But
Oh,
anyway,
oh my goodness. Lucky just came in. Look at this. Gary took her for a walk. Hey, Luckabuck, where are you? Say hi to Auntie Linda. Say hi to our people.
hi, Punky.
Hi,
Hi,
baby. You're
sweetheart.
seeing my closet. I'm cleaning it out. I started cleaning my closet. Hi, baby. Anyway,
That makes me
I had to show
miserable.
everybody the dog.
So, but I want to tell you guys. So, what you're saying is don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. So if you have a positive suggestion, I'm open to it. But
Yeah,
when it becomes negative criticism and mean and nasty and name calling, I will block you from my channel and I will tell every other person I know in the community to block you as well. We're not here to be name called.
yes,
I didn't say anything about being against the victims. And I rewatched the video.
yeah.
So, whoever said this, and I know who you are, and
But you blocked them, correct?
I blocked them. I certainly did, and I reported them. So, um, anyway,
Yeah, when they
he-
start name calling. But but
so
they must know we block them. That's weird. And we have people we hired to block them.
that's correct. I caught it before Dan did. So,
Oh, you did?
yeah. Also, congratulations to Hungary because
Oh, yay!
yay, Viktor Orban lost, and I think Peter Magyar or something.
At big time. Big time he lost.
And that's a bellwether of what's going to happen here.
Oh yeah. Did you see all the people on the streets? It was
Yes.
beautiful.
Well,
Beautiful.
JD Vance was mocked because of what he tried in Hungary
Mhm.
and the stuff he's saying about Iran. People are mocking him. The press is mocking him. So,
It couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
well, this
Hey,
is gonna.
listen, I just want to tell all my peoples and tell you. I had a long conversation with a dear friend of mine who works right in the middle of the Democrats. She's part of the organization that supports candidates and stuff. And I was like furious about Swalwell.
Oh,
I
me
can't.
too. Me
Okay,
too.
about Eric. If I can't seem to pronounce his name right.
Swalwell.
Anyway, so I said, she said, Linda, I need to tell you that apparently Eric and Matt Gaetz were 2 on 2. Their reputation was like that in Congress. Everybody knew they were bad boys. Everybody knew about all the stuff that was going on. And as unfortunate as it was, and it does feel like a hit by certain people, which is probably better they do it now than later.
Right.
But he was sending nude photos of himself to these women. What an idiot. Who would send nude photos? And back in the day, Marjorie Taylor Greene was in there. She would have loved that.
You know, it it just goes to show that, what you do behind closed doors, you do behind closed doors. But you certainly don't take advantage of people. You
No.
certainly don't victimize people. And it's against the ethics in the House and the Senate for an elected official to have something to do with an employee.
Oh,
Uh,
no.
you don't do that. And I mean, he gets to send pictures to whomever he wants, but not employees and not to abuse his power. And what I see coming out, my guides tell me he's going to fight it, but my guides tell me the truth will prevail.
Do you think he actually assaulted these women?
It depends on how you define assault. You know, I mean,
Did they
here's
say
here's
no
the,
and he persisted?
that's right. So the deal is, it goes so far, they're both willing, but once somebody says no, then you stop.
The
And I,
first lady that was drunk as a skunk, the bartender testified that he tried to offer her an Uber ride back to her place. And she refused. She wanted to go back to his place.
okay.
And then for 4 years later, you do the same thing. You get drunk as a skunk with this guy you said assaulted. There's something wrong with that picture. I
I
just
heard,
don't know if we have beyond a reasonable doubt. But he definitely was a cad.
I heard what she said, and there were serious flaws with it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And here again, I'm all about the victims. I'm really all about the victims. Anybody who is a victim of sexual assault or any kind of assault for that matter, justice should be done.
yeah.
Uh,
But
and
then
my
we
guy,
got that Russian bot that said that Biden had assaulted her. Even
yeah.
when President Bush was running for office, some woman said that she gave birth to his baby and all this stuff. People will run on it, and it's like you got to be careful.
Well, I think anytime you're when I applied to get my global entry, like when I go through customs, they recognize my face and they fingerprint you and they do everything. And they said, if you have anything in question coming through customs, make sure you declare it because you have the security clearance, we hold you to a higher standard.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And my point is these politicians should be held to higher standards.
Okay,
And
they
what
should, but they don't.
they don't. But what disturbs me about it is misuse of power is absolutely wrong. And that's exactly what many of them do. You know, the hypocrisy also blows me away.
I know.
Here you have people pointing fingers at Swalwell. And again, you know, if he's guilty of these things,
Yeah,
he should have to pay the price.
but the
But the
future
hypocrisy,
ex-president Trump made a
thank you.
comment about him. It's like you're the last person needs to make any comment.
Exactly. And people are gonna mention that. Look at what he did to E. Jean Carroll. Look at these other women that came out about him. Look at how he creates these diversions to
And
keep.
nobody believes the woman.
That's right. Look how he creates these diversion about the Epstein files. And I think part of this was also a diversion from the Epstein files.
Right, right. But
I don't
I
trust
don't
anything
feel
Roger
good
Stone
about
does.
his future, about Swalwell's. Maybe he won't get criminally charged, but I don't feel good about his future.
I don't either. I don't either. And here again, if he's guilty of this, he should be held accountable. I do know he'll fight, that I know. But my guides tell me that the truth will prevail. And there you go.
Do
But
you
it's
think
not,
he's going to step down?
how does it work in California? If he steps down, do they have to have a special election to replace him, or how does
I
that work?
don't know. I'll have to look it up. Probably.
Because that would certainly tip the House back to the Republicans, more in the Republicans' benefit.
He might
Um,
hang in there and just remain low key because he only has like a year left.
my feeling he's going to hang in there for a while.
Okay.
Now, you know, back to Hungary. That is a bellwether of what's going to happen here during the midterms.
I know.
People
I
are
love it.
going to come out. So if you're afraid about the midterms, that's okay. But remember, people are going to be coming out in droves to vote. And these little BS tactics that Trump is pulling will not work. I
Yeah, and
see.
then you have J.D. Vance and Dr. Oz standing at the podium announcing to people next year we're looking at getting rid of Medicaid and Medi-Cal. Oh, that's a real closer. People are to be standing in line to vote for you guys. No.
Well, after Trump is out of office and the regime is done, and it will be done, um, Mehmet Oz, his career is done. Of
He's over.
course, he's made all of his money, and I foresee Trump losing. I had a thing this morning I was thinking when I was in the shower. That's what I think's in the shower.
I get a lot of information in the shower.
Yeah, it was because you know what, all the filters are down.
Yeah.
But it came to me that, E. Jean Carroll still has not gotten her money from Trump.
No, she hasn't. And he's
And
tried to act like I shouldn't have to pay it, and they've said, no, you have to pay it.
once he's out of office, um, even if he's not on the earth plane any longer, I see them putting a lien on his estate
Yeah.
and saying,
Because it's
you
up
have
to
to,
800 and something thousand now.
that's right. And they're going to try to bargain and make it less. They're going to say, no, we want the whole boat. And she will get it.
Yeah.
I see her donating a lot of it to charity. It's going to take a couple years for her to get it, but she will get it.
She'll get it. But listen, and she's not a spring chicken either.
No. But it's the
But
hypocrisy again. It just blows me away. Like I said earlier, let's see, look at what Trump did to all those
I
women.
know.
Let's look at the Epstein files. Those are going to come front and center again very soon.
Well, I also want to tell you guys, I read an article and I wish I'd have saved it. It was a journalist. I don't think she gave her name, but she said she had met Eric Swalwell, or whatever you call him.
Well, it's hard to say.
I know. She had met him. And by the way, he was born in Idaho because I said he looks like an old boy off the turnip truck. So she said he was very kind and sweet. And at one point in time, they were both going to be on MSNBC. And she met him in the green room, and he was getting ready to have his first baby, and he was asking her questions of what to expect. Totally involved in the babies, and she said, and then she saw him again. I think at MSNBC, she saw him in the green room when he was running for president. And she said he got vile and so angry at our Pete Buttigieg, or also known as Pete Bootylicious. He got mad that his numbers were higher than his and that he didn't deserve it. And she said she was shocked by the way he was talking. And I think she saw him again, and then she didn't want to have anything to do with him because he was getting so pompous. She said it's like he changed overnight.
I've seen it so many times with even my students. And I would tell them over the years, I've seen it many times. I used to be on the board of directors for Infinity Foundation. They're closed now, but they were the leading educational center for health and holistic things in the Midwest. And some of these big name people whose names I won't mention, they were very well known, would come and lecture, and they had egos the size of Sears Tower.
They're the types that would want their M&Ms a certain way.
Exactly. And they're telling other people how to live their lives, but yet their nose is so up in the air, if they walked out in a rainstorm, they would drown. So, there's a lot to the old saying, and I've warned my students about this, and I've seen it a million times. Never talk up to people. I'm sorry, never talk down to people on your way up, because those might have to be the same people you talk up to on your way down.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing here with Swalwell. You
Yeah,
know,
that's a shame.
it really is. It
I
really,
thought he was being picked on. That's why I was so vehemently angry about what was going on. But then I
so did
got
I.
then
So
my
did I.
friend told me the truth, what's really going on. And
I,
they kept their mouth shut. Congress kept their mouth shut, even though they knew this is the way he was. Just
um,
like the Republicans do.
exactly. Exactly. Anything like that should always come out. I still have questions about Roger Stone, and he's going to go to jail again. He's a convicted felon. He just got pardoned. So who is he to point fingers at anybody?
I know.
Um, I'm not condoning Swalwell's behavior. If indeed he is guilty, he should be punished for that.
Exactly.
You know, but like I said, I heard the testimony from that one person. Her face was all blacked out, and that's okay. But there were just glaring
And a
inconsistencies.
lot of people who heard it said, you want to believe her 100%, but there was too many weird, like, why would you go back this many years later and get drunk again?
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Anyway, well,
thank
we
you
covered
guys for your
Swalwell enough, I
questions.
think, right?
Yeah. Thank you guys for your question.
Yeah.
Um, Anne wants to know, what do you see for the arch that T is planning? By the way, Hitler was planning an arch too.
What I see for Trump's uh, American version of l'Arc de Triomphe, however you say it in French. Excuse my French, it's really bad. Um, it's gonna go the same place that the ballroom went.
Okay.
In other words, he started all his construction on the ballroom. It's been halted, and he can start trying to build his wonderful arch. I don't see it completed.
Well, he's asking for $230 billion from Congress for the war. No, hell no.
Not going to happen. So here's the thing. Remember when Biden was president and Obama was president, the Republicans talked about spending, but yet they have a president now who's wasted more money than any president in American history, wasted the money for a ballroom that's never going to happen, wants to spend all these millions or billions on some arch, but yet wants to take away from daycare, wants to, cut
Oh, he told
social.
everybody we can't afford daycare, we can't afford
Right.
health care and everything. You're all on your own.
Right. I mean, everything he said he was going to do when he was running, he's done the complete opposite.
Yeah,
And I'm telling you, he and Netanyahu are going to come down hard and fast.
I love it. So,
And
will Social Security remain untouched?
they'll try to play with it, but I want to tell you something. Uh, I still see Social Security lasting and Medicare lasting. They call it entitlements. It's not a friggin'
Not an
entitlement. We
entitlement.
paid into that. That's not an entitlement, and it's something we deserve.
And also, they borrowed money from the penny bake from them
That's right.
and
That's
never
right.
paid it
And
and
never
never
paid it
paid it
back.
back.
Social Security and Medicare wouldn't be having these problems, which we pay for Medicare, if they would have quit robbing from it and never pay it back. You're right.
Right.
So they'll
That's
talk about it, but you know, um, once Trump is gone, once the regime is gone, I see a lot of the social programs restored. I see it'll take a while. It
yeah.
might take
And
four or
you
five
guys
years.
keep asking when, and I don't blame you. but I know it's going to happen. But I think before the year's out, but I know it's going to happen.
Me too. And I still see something big coming. I don't think it was a Swalwell thing. It wasn't Iran. This is even bigger. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling it.
Right, right. Well, and also with Eric, I feel the Republicans were behind closed doors, talking to these women. I do think they paid the other women. We're
Of
going to
course.
find out a lot of stuff, you guys. Not that he was a good boy, but
I'm
we're
not
going to
saying he
find
was,
out a lot of stuff.
yeah, I agree. I don't think he's a good boy, but I just think that from what I've heard, I don't mean through the grapevine. I mean with watching what that woman said, there was just glaring inconsistencies. And
Yeah,
here again, I'm all about the victims, and
yeah.
justice should be done. Uh,
It's just
but
interesting that one guy gave money to they want that Steve Hilton to win.
right,
And so money is being filtered to help take care of these women, but there's somebody who's going to do true confessions. Not that he didn't make a move and like a dummy, he sent nudes of himself.
right. I see somebody coming forward that will make true confessions.
That
Yep.
will say, you know what, they're paying us. Yeah, we had consensual, whatever.
Okay.
Uh,
Go ahead.
did you
I've
have a,
got some too. Mavis 959 says, will all or most of the Trump and his regime's corruption and crime see the light of day for the benefit and healing of the nation, along with commensurate adjudication, appropriate sentencing up to and including prison time and financial judgments? That's a good question or
yeah,
question.
yeah, it will happen, but it's taking a while.
I say yes to all of the above. Before I even read this question, we just talked about, liens being put on the Trump estate because of E. Jean Carroll and other things. And with that airplane he got from Cater and that
By the
money,
way, they want that back.
that's right. And the money that's in that account, I see that money being confiscated. And
Yeah.
there's going to be proof positive that comes out that those boats in Venezuela were not drug running boats. They really were fishing
Oh,
boats.
yeah. Well, the families of the fishermen are suing the United States, so we'll
And
see.
they'll win too.
Yeah. So this sweetie darling Lulu
Uh,
says, why have 9 well-known scientists mysteriously died recently?
I couldn't hear the question. I'm
Why
sorry.
have 9 well-known scientists is died recently?
I don't even know which ones died.
There's a whole 9 of them. They've all died mysteriously, all working on the same UFO project.
Hmm. I, you know what? I really don't know enough about it. I have to look it up. Um, what do you think? I'm just not,
Well, ask. We're not supposed to think. We're just supposed to ask.
I know, but I'm,
And so I feel it's all going to be related. And this is the big news that comes out later.
oh, I just see the number two. They show me two. So it could be a couple years where things come out about it, but it's not going to be conclusive. It'll still leave quite room for questioning or whatever. That's what I pick up. I don't.
Okay. You got a question?
Yes. Um, Judy D says, hello, Linda and Mel. Will Melania be called in from Congress to testify on Epstein? Thank you.
I see Melania taking off and going to a different country. What are you feeling?
Ooh. I think once Trump is in hot water, uh, they're going to ask her what she knows and all of that. And I do see her out of this country. I don't think it'll be back to Slovenia. I don't think they want her. Uh, I don't know which country she'd go to. Could be Israel, but Slovenia won't want her. That's for sure.
Um, because that announcement she made, that was out of the blue, and she's trying to protect herself from something.
She certainly is. Um, but I just got a feeling too that when she says the victim should be brought to the public to testify in Congress,
Allow them to say their piece.
allow them to say their piece, but that wasn't about the victims. That was a threat because she wanted to expose the victims and thinking then they wouldn't come forward and testify.
Oh, okay.
You got to protect the identity of the victims until it gets to the point where it comes into court and all that.
Right.
Um, my feeling is, I think she wanted to do that speech on her own, but I hear that somebody put her up to it.
I think her attorneys put her up to it. And I don't really think, well, Trump's not able to think.
No,
I don't think he knew anything about it.
no, he didn't. It was done to cover her own rear end.
Okay. Now go ahead, ask the question.
Um, well, it was about Melania being called to Congress to testify on Epstein.
Right.
Um, if they call her, she's going to say she doesn't know anything. But that's a lie because there's already pictures of her with Epstein and all of that stuff years ago. So
Right.
I do see her testifying. She might give the middle finger, but I do see her testifying. And I see her lying to Congress for entertainment purposes only, and they're going to hold her accountable for that. Now,
Okay.
that's not going to be until way after the midterms and once this Trump stuff is all done and over with.
Right. Right.
Don't forget, she's a female version of Donald. She's totally off for herself.
Yeah. Uh, Nama. I'm concerned about the farm industry lack of concern of the quality of produce, with the regulations lacking or just not being enforced. They are also eating the same produce. Produce, are they not upset or concerned? Cancer and sickness is not just for the poor.
I don't think it's the farmers. I think it's the companies that manufacture the
And they don't
seed.
care about making sure
That's right.
toxins aren't there.
That's right. In Europe, it's illegal to put GMOs in food. And so the tomatoes taste like tomatoes,
Things
asparagus.
are going to change, but right now, yeah,
Right.
I've got my guy put my dirt down, and I'm going to start my garden.
It's the big companies that manufacture the seeds that, mess with the seeds and the genetically modified organisms. Um, so it's not really the farmers, or at least the small family farmers. Now, some of these companies do have mega farms, yes, big farms, not MAGA, but mega.
Yeah,
Um, and so, yeah, they tamper with it. Uh, but I like that question because when all that thing about the water happened in Flint, Michigan, and it was a big cover up, I said those politicians should be forced to drink that water.
I know. That reminds me, I watched that Aaron Brockovich movie again
Yes,
with Julia Roberts,
yes.
and that all the attorneys were sitting there, and the one lady picked up the glass to take a drink of water, and she said, "We had that water shipped in special. It comes from the wells that you guys said were just fine." And the lady wouldn't drink the water.
Right. That's right. Karmic justice. I tell you who else is gonna think she was gonna give a middle finger to Congress is Pam Bondi, but a judge has told her she has to testify.
Oh, they did. Okay, I didn't
I
know
think
that.
so. I could be
I had a
mistaken.
flash on her. I think I was taking a shower. I had a flash on her, screaming and crying, tattered, like on her knees, begging for mercy. And I felt she was before a judge, or maybe she was before God, but begging for mercy. So she's getting ready to come into some trouble.
I see her disbarred. Um, I see at some point them making her a deal to come out and just tell what she knows.
Yeah.
Uh, because my guides have shown me since day one, she's going to be indicted for obstruction of justice and abuse
Yes.
of power, as will Kristi Noem and Kash Patel and all the other people, not all of them, but most of them in Trump's cabinet.
Somebody posted that, the job that Trump said he was giving Christy Nome, her new job. They said, "Hey, you guys, that new job that Christy was supposed to have? It doesn't exist." Duh.
Exactly. Exactly. It's probably requisitioning toilet paper for
I
or
always
paper.
had a vision of her because she's supposed to be working under Steve Miller, Satan's spawn, and somebody else. And I just had this picture of her going in the corner in a little cubby, and they're telling her, "File these."
They're telling her dot the I's, cross the T's. She's miserable in that job right now. Where's Stephen Miller? He hasn't been around for a while. Do you get anything on
He's
it?
and people are talking about getting rid of him. People are furious with him. You
Uh,
know, we're getting ready for the final between these young men and women and their families. Not get that pilot that got rescued. Oh, we got him. He was in a cave. His family has filed some petition. They haven't heard word one about him.
right,
Well, if
right,
you rescued him, where is he? Why can't we talk to him?
right.
They're just
It's
cutting the family off. Well, that's because I guess the Iran news was correct. The Iran news said, no, he's not. We have him.
exactly, it's BS. And everything that happens in Iran, what Trump says, Al Jazeera, and the real news, not the fake news. Trump's is the one that manufactures fake news, will come out, and that will be true.
Yep. Hey, will the people who've been deported be able to come back with proper papers? I see a whole line of people being able to be taken care of because the way they did them dirty. But I see the United States going in and bringing people back and
And
working.
and paying them restitution for the businesses they lost. You know, it was funny. There's a restaurant here called Egg Harbor, and they're open from like just for breakfast and lunch. They close at 2:30. But I went yesterday, and there was this kid that waited on me. He's from Guatemala, and every chance I get to talk in Spanish, I like
I
to
know
do
how
that.
you are, or German, or anything.
I know. I just love languages. You can just communicate in so many different ways. But we were talking, and he said he had been here 2 years, and he's got his green card, and but he said that it's completely different now than when he moved here, and he's thinking about moving back to Guatemala because he's fearful of what's going on
I
here.
don't blame him. I don't blame him.
And so when you brought that up, whoever asked that question, but the first thing that jumped in my mind is those ones that were deported, will they be allowed to come back here if they want? The answer is yes. But the bigger question is how many of them will want to?
I know.
Because in their minds, it's going to be, what if there's a president where that happens again?
Yeah.
But I
I'm
see
so happy for
legislation.
Hungary. And apparently, Orban was the link for Putin to be
Yeah,
able to give money to those underhanded people.
right.
And now he can't do that anymore.
I think Peter Magyar is the one that won, and he's middle right, I think, but he's not like ultra right, like what's his face? Um, but I think, he's very pro-European Union. He's
Is
very
he in
pro,
Putin's pocket at all?
no, 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 no. He's very pro-Ukraine. No, he does not like Putin whatsoever.
So everything they tried to do for Ukraine, it was stopped because of Orban.
Right, but it won't now. And this guy's all about NATO. He's all about the European Union. He's all about
Yay.
Ukraine. And that just tickled me to death because Trump and Vance and Rubio all had egg on their face.
I know.
And that's another one who's going to be held for war crimes, as Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio.
Yeah. And JD Vance, they brought him in. He failed in that. He fails in everything. And Trump is blaming him.
I know.
I think Trump is going to come down on Hedgehog. I think he's going to blame him for a lot of things when the heat gets bad on Trump.
Right.
He's the
Oh, I
one
didn't.
that made the decision.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about it. It was Hegseth that did it. Blah. Oh, please.
He lied to me and told me that pilot was home. He's not home. He lied to me. And I see him throwing him under the. And Hedgehog knows this is coming.
But you know what's going to happen? Just like those senators came out in the McCarthy era and really condemned McCarthy, that's what senators and members of the House are going to do to Trump. And they're going to say, you cannot claim ignorance. You were the president. You were supposed to have known about these things. In
Exactly.
fact, they'll have proof that he did know, and they'll
Yeah.
have proof that he did sign those orders.
Apparently, so this Pete guy came down to the Capitol in Hungary and he was trying to get in there and they locked themselves up in a room so they could shred confidential material. It doesn't matter, their days are numbered.
Well, um, yeah, right. I'll be in Budapest in May, so I haven't been for a while, and Budapest is really one of my favorite cities. It's a neat city. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah, we can all go there and visit now because they don't have any money. They can barely, they can, they are one of the poorest countries anywhere.
I don't know if Hungary is. I think in Europe.
Well, I saw it written that they are poor with, how much is their population? They're not very big.
I don't know. Let me look.
Okay.
Um, Let me ask. Population of Hungary. Um, after the Austrian-Hungarian Empire broke up, they split
They
it up.
have
So,
good food.
9.6 million.
Okay.
9.6 million people in Hungary. Um, um, that's what I just looked up. Um, where does
So
Hungary?
this chat says Hungary is a developed country, part of the European Union,
Yes, it is.
but it's
It's
not considered the poorest.
no, it's not.
Average incomes are lower than places like Germany, France, Netherlands.
Well, because those are like because Germany, France, uh, those are leading European countries.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people come from Eastern Europe, like Romania. Romania is a beautiful country. It's coming up. They're getting a lot of tourists there, but a lot of Romanians, Bulgarians. Bulgaria is a poor country, but it's coming up. They go to Ireland to work. They go to the UK to work. So, but
Beautiful.
I'm excited to go back to Budapest. It's a neat city. It really is.
Maybe we
Uh,
should do a trip in the next couple of years.
I've got one.
Are they going to really hand out and help Zelensky a lot now?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because
Uh,
they were the ones that stopped Zelensky from being able to join the union.
right. But now not because this guy is pro NATO and he's pro European Union and he's going to tell Putin, F you, if Ukraine wants to join, they're going to join. Trump's going to try to cut aid to Hungary and cause problems there, but they're going to stand up to Trump and they will be formidable. Mark my words.
Yeah, and he complains about NATO didn't come through, and it wasn't against the United States; it was against him.
Exactly. Exactly.
You got a question?
Um, ooh, Nora Villarreal says, hi, Nora. Villarreal, I should pronounce it correctly. Villarreal. Um, all I want is Trump and his call girls out now.
Ah,
All of the circus clowning too. Blessings to you guys. I miss it when I don't hear from you. Aw, that's
so
sweet.
sweet.
That was a statement, but actually, I think that's prophetic because his circus clowns and him will be gone.
Well, just now when you were talking, sometimes I get those hits. I
The
just
side
saw
take.
phones going off the hook, but everybody just running around. I somehow or the other, I don't feel it's a slow process. I feel Trump was here 1 minute and gone the next minute.
Right.
And I see people in the streets celebrating. Remember the last time I said when he lost, you'll see people dancing in the streets? It's the same
They
thing, but
were.
bigger, but bigger.
You know what I saw was that scene from The Wizard of Oz, when the house lands on the Wicked Witch of the West, and the Munchkins are going, "Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Yeah,
Witch, oh witch, the Wicked Witch." I just had that in my head.
right. Now,
So
do
the
you think
celebration.
Orban will stand trial for the crimes against
Who?
humanity?
Who?
Orban. Orban.
Orban?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
World
I see
courts are
him
going.
desperately trying to reconnect with Putin and trying to figure out where he's going to go. Right now, he's still going to stay in Hungary, but they're out for him. They
Well,
are out for him.
he didn't do a Trump on this election. He called and conceded. So he didn't say it was rigged or anything because he
Right.
knew. I mean, you cannot. I saw those pictures. The Hungarians were in mass in Budapest.
That's what's going to happen here.
That's exactly what's going to happen here. And you know what? This No King's Day was one of the largest marches in American history, and they're going to get larger and larger
Yeah.
and more
I got to
frequent.
ask you a real quick question from Robert. Do you think we'll finally stop giving money to Israel?
Once Trump is gone,
That's what I was
and,
feeling too.
and once Netanyahu is gone, I see a coalition. I see a female leader coming to Israel who will promote world peace and who will believe in two states, Israel and Palestine. Let Palestine be a state and Israel be a state and bring about peaceful coexistence. That's what I see.
Yeah, so
Uh,
we're not giving. The United States isn't giving
correct.
money to them anymore.
That's right.
Because,
That's
they
exactly.
said there's a lot of people, I don't know if this is true or not, living in Israel that don't work, but they get housing, they get everything taken care of. In the meantime, the United States people are struggling.
You know, I see a point in time where, um, with the new leader coming into Israel, and once Trump is gone, a peaceful coalition, like I said, that'll be anti-Putin, that will not be warmongers, and will not. United States will say you don't need our aid.
Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
we're almost done. You got a last question?
um, Tracy Bird says, "Do you see Sherrod Brown winning for senator in Ohio's primary?"
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, and yes.
I've seen that. I was very sorry. He was a winner. He showed as a winner, and it makes sense, even though he lost his seat for Senate. Um, but remember that energy that was going on at the time.
Right.
But he's going to win for Ohio.
I got one more. I always say that, but this is a good one. Just giving my life. It says, is Trump really going to give out pardons for his people? Does this mean they will get away with their evil?
I already told everybody about this. I saw him doing a big, like putting them in a safe, pre-pardons, ready to go. But then I see him being taken down and not being able to go through with it.
Many of them will be pardoned, but that's federal. What I see then is the states picking it up and saying, wait a minute, we can pick it up in the states because
Yeah,
their action was crimes, was against our state laws. Like
yeah,
in Minneapolis, those ICE agents that killed those people,
yeah,
those two people and Christy Nome, for entertainment purposes only, I see them indicted in Michigan for the murders of those people. And I got a funny feeling they're going to look at some kind of RICO law for Christy Nome in that state. So that's
wow,
what I see coming down.
that's great.
So they
So,
will
well,
get, many
thank
of them
you.
will get pardoned, yes, but not in the states. And the president has no control over that.
No, but he's gone. I don't know how he goes, but he's gone.
He's
So let
his
me
help.
tell. And also, isn't there something about pardons and any kind of criminal thing? Like you can't be pardoned if you knowingly did a criminal thing?
Well, the thing is, once a president gives a pardon, it's given. You can't
That there
revoke.
you go. That's right. They like to brag about that.
But what
But
I
when
do,
when Biden pardoned even his son, oh, they fought it tooth and nail.
there's nothing they could do.
Yeah,
And they had a certain part of the anatomy to criticize Biden for pardoning his son, but yet Trump pardoned people who had done 10 times more things. That
yeah.
thing with Hunter Biden, I think that was a political witch hunt.
There,
You
yeah,
know,
it was. It
um,
was.
I'll tell you who's going to come out formidably during the midterms against Donald Trump is Marjorie. I do not like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm
Well,
not
we
fond of,
haven't liked who she was before until her eyes got woken.
right. I don't like Liz Cheney. I mean, but I give her, I'm not saying she's a bad person, but I give her credit for standing up to Trump. All of those people, they're going to come out loud and clear, uh, against Trump, right before the midterms. And I see some big scandal coming right before the midterms against Trump and his cronies, and it's not going to be good.
Whoa.
So
So, real quick before we hang up,
before we hang up,
yeah, what's her name? Here's Liz Cheney. What do you think about Cassidy Hutchinson? Hutchinson? They're trying to focus on her. I had a feeling they were looking at her, but I also had a feeling she had the ability to come out of the United States. But Cassidy Hutchinson was the one who worked for MacArthur or whatever his name is, Mike.
McCarthy. Yeah.
And they want to do some charges against her. Do you think they will or no?
I see charges filed.
Okay.
I
But
don't know how.
Trump will be gone before this all ends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, people say like if Trump dies in office, they'll make a martyr out of him, whatever. And I don't wish harm on anybody. But
Yeah.
here's the way I think many Americans are starting to look at it. Once he's gone, he's gone. Remember
Well,
that. So
yeah.
people, I know you're fearful, but just, like James I can't pronounce his name, Carville or Cargill says, you know, put the razor on the top shelf. Don't take the Valium yet. I watch him, he's
He's
almost
very with it.
vulgar. Yeah, but he's smart. And he keeps saying the same things we're saying, that Trump is going to, catch his Waterloo
He's
very
going to
soon.
implode. Yeah.
And that's what it started already. Just
They're reaming him, and he acts like he don't care, but he sees what they're saying about him, and he knows he's toast.
Linda, he's as nervous as a dog doing peach seeds.
Oh God. All right, you guys, it was wonderful. So I'll hook up with you next Monday.
Yep. Oh, by the way, hello to Androniki. Thank you. This stuff is
Thank you,
good.
Andrew. People still write me. What exact products do you use? I don't know. I just use all of them.
I use them all. I put a little bit of the moisturizer. There's 7 serums, a drop of those, mix them up and
Put
lather it
them
on.
on your foot. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, you guys, we love you.
Love
You
you.
take care.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.